Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're having a fabulous Tuesday today. I'm excited. I'm always excited on these things. I'm excited that today we are working on another track for Monster Sanctuary, which is a fantastic game. I've really enjoyed playing that over the last several months and working on the soundtrack with co-composer Peter Jones. What you're just listening to was the normal battle theme, which is actually kind of it's a redo version. Part of this soundtrack is it's kind of a twofold scenario where we are both creating new music for the game and all of the new content that's coming in the next few updates. And we're also working on kind of redoing some of the older tracks in the game since the game's been out for a little while. And originally was developed by a very small team, and now that they've kind of grown their team and they've been kickstarted and they have the funds and everything, they're really trying to polish up the game in every possible way. And the game just gets better every single time I take a look at it. And I'm excited because today we get to work on the main theme, the title screen, which is arguably the most important theme because this is a theme that we can use all throughout the game in little snippets as we continue to work on the soundtrack. So it's going to be a fun stream over the next hour. Today's a little bit different because the track is already written. However, when I submitted this track, it's only a 1 minute loop as the kind of the redo of the title screen. The developers liked it, but they also said, you know what? Let's keep it. Let's save a session of what you have so far. But what I'd like you to try is, here are a few little moments within this 1 minute loop that we don't really love these few notes here, or we don't really love the melody of this little section. So can you create an alternate version? So what I want to do today is take the core template of the 1 minute track, but then also duplicate it twice to where we have two different alternatives. So what I'm calling this today, let's hop over to our Cubase session. I love Cubase that we can use different marker tracks. So for example, I have a tracks markers, section markers, and chord markers, which allows us to stay super organized and different version numbers and all that good stuff. So this right here is title screen. This is the fourth version that I've been working on. And, me and Peter are going back and forth in our sessions that are shared. So between the two of us, this is version 4. And the A version is what I submitted to the devs. And so let me play what we have. This is still the A version. I just copied it twice. So this will be the B version. And then we'll also do a C version today, which is this section over here. Let's take a second and let's just listen to what we have so far to know what we're going to be dealing with today. So this is title screen version 4 B. Here we go. And the loop is going to sound like this. I just had to change it a little bit. Let's go to the last two bars. All right, so what we have here is 1 minute loop, and I like it a lot. Of course, wrote it, and I feel like it's very fitting for the game. But there are a couple of moments that the game devs were not 100% on. So what I want to do today is I want to create, let's keep the template, let's duplicate it, and I want to change those few moments. And if you're curious of how to actually create a video game loops, stick around to the end because I'll be exporting these as WAV files and then combining them together as an OGG file, an OGG file, which is used inside the game engine. It's a pretty simple process, but it's also not talked about a whole lot. So that might be very useful for you. So stick around to the end and you'll actually see how I combine these different elements to create different tracks. And the idea is the game devs will be able to compare all three of these versions, which is version 4A, B, and C, and they're gonna be able to pick, okay, I like this one the best, let's take this, move forward, and make this the track in the game. And just for context, I think this is always very helpful to give context. I'm gonna pull open my Steam session, and this is Monster Sanctuary, and I just wanna pull this up real quick. I'll pop it into my screen so you can see it. Let me grab that. Just so you can see what we're talking about here today. This is the title screen, and just in case you haven't played it yet, here's the current title screen. It's a little bit more of a medieval vibe. Okay, so obviously I just turned down all of the music volume, and this is a really great way for any of you who write video game music. If you have this option within a current demo or the game itself, if you can turn down the music but keep the sound effects, this is a great way to try your own music inside. So now what I'm gonna do is go over to my Cubase session. Let's play what we have, and that way we can hear in context what it actually sounds like. So here's the intro music. You guys get the point there. But you can see how it clearly works. It fits the mood, it fits the vibe. It's a very cartoony vibe, but also mixed with a little bit of seriousness. We got a lot of modal type music in here as well within the soundtrack. Lots of 7th chords, 9th chords, 11th chords, that kind of thick jazzy harmony. So that's kind of what we're working with here today. And in the comments we have El Mustacho Juanjo, however you say your name. Sorry if I mispronounced that. Says, are you going to reharmonize this into another Greek mode? I think you're referring to medieval modes, right? Nope, maybe, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what we're gonna do today. But again, the idea is to really get this, fix a couple sections and just try some different things, let the dev team choose. And even if at the very end of the day, they like parts of A, parts of B, parts of C, I then at least know the exact moments they like, and I can recombine them together in my session by chopping up my MIDI, and it shouldn't be a big deal at all. Quick question, or an idea, comment, wow, words are hard, from Alex, says, this new one puts you more into a proper adventure mode, I find. That's exactly what I'm going for here. Make it feel like an adventure. Alrighty then, so the moments that the devs wanted me to change were this little guy right here, this ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da. He did not like that. So let's experiment a little bit. First thing I gotta do is just erase that little chunk. And thankfully, you know, this is already inside all my backup files, but also I have it saved in this current session right now. This is the this is the B version, so I can afford to leave it alone. I want to keep the chord structure though, because this is all hanging on a C chord. Ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum. Sounds like I got the strings doubling. So here it is without that little hook. Ba-dum, bum, bum, ba-dum. I like that because it kind of propels you into it. So here's the intro. They really like the intro. whatever I do, I need to match the rhythm and the notes. So let's experiment here for a second. So currently we have just a C chord. So the main theme is in the key of F. Whatever it is. Yeah, it's in the key of F. So that's why I did a dominant chord, which is the C chord, which leads us in the intro to the A section. So the other part that the devs did not like is the A section itself. They liked the B and they liked the B section, but not the C section. So it's like they liked half of the track. So they liked the chords and they liked the movement. They didn't like the melody itself. It might be a little bit too happy because it's an F major chord, just straight up F major. And then to the modal E flat major. Very Final Fantasy thing to do. And then walking down to D minor 7. And back up. So I think if I can kind of avoid the just a straight up F major chord, I should be fine. So I'm trying to figure out what would lead into an F chord that's not that. So I think in order to solve this problem, we're going to have to go to the intro last, which is a little frustrating because this is actually the same thing you run into if you ever write a book or a blog post or a YouTube video or anything like that. You really can't introduce something until you have the something. So I can't write an intro for the A section until I have an A section. And since we're changing it, I need to change that first. So let's take a second here. Sounds like I really just need to get rid of the main melody here, and then we'll be fine, to replace it. So we chop that up real quick. Seems to just be that 4-bar phrase that they don't like. And when I say A section, I really should specify that technically this is a B section, and then this is a C section, and then the D. So they really only disliked the A and the D. They liked the B and the C, which is the middle half. So that's good to know. And that's just the melody part. So let's get rid of the melody. And it's a nice open space that gives us a lot, like a blank canvas. Not even a blank canvas, it already has chords in it. But now I need to think of just kind of some kind of melody that might fit in there. I like that. So I want to keep the kind of the jumpiness, but I also want it to be super singable. I think we're off to a good start. Now that I changed the melody a little bit, if you want to change the chords, I can really move even more. Pretty modal, I know. Let's hop over to the keyboard. Let's just play for a minute. Well, that's not what we want. If anybody if any of you who stream want to see what my screen looks like, It's like a vortex here, I know. But I have my YouTube screen and I have my OBS screen running in tandem. So that's what I get to see on my top screen while I'm working on my bottom two screens. Anyway, gosh, I'm still trying to figure out the best configuration here to switch between screens a little bit easier. But yeah, I want to try. Ooh, I know what I need to do, guys. This seemed to be a hit last week. Adding these extra little screens in the menu. That way you can see two things that I'm doing at once. Okay, so this is an F major. To sound sad. Let's see what that sounds like if I use that flute again. Close. It's not jumpy enough yet. So I think what helps make this interesting is when you have fast notes. That kind of thing, where there's like 16th notes in between long notes. It's a hard sell. Let's keep trying. I'd love to know your thoughts as we're going through this. Like, if there's a take you like, let me know. I feel like that really needs to have the motion in the second measure. That's not bad. Let's save it and let's see what it feels like once I double those up. Pretty easy process. For this, I don't like to just copy and paste. I do actually want to play them in. So now let's take that same idea and double it with the synth bell, which already has a baked in delay, which is pretty cool. Cool. Just take that and quantize it real quick with 16th notes and everything should fit great. And let's do the same thing with kind of a weird chord progression. get you. Ba-da-ba-da-ba-ba-ba-dum. Thinking about doubling that with the strings. Let's see. I feel like may not need this first half of the chug chug chugs because we already got those going on. It is the full orchestra short patch. Let's try without the scoops. Let's try just doubling the melody. That rhythm a lot. Pretty good. Now I feel like we have a better shot at adding this intro piece because we know that the melody is going to start on a C, right? So with that, yikes! I just noticed a small error. Correct there. Isn't that crazy? My ear can hear that nonsense. Like it's literally a 16th note off. In one instrument out of 3, doubling the same notes. My life. Anyway, so we know that the melody starts right there. So I need to figure out something because we're coming out of this. Maybe something like that. That's pretty good. That'll do. We can come up with a third version for the other one. That way the devs can choose their favorite. Hey, thanks Alex, who says in the chat, yeah, if that's the track waiting for you when you boot the game, you definitely look forward to your time with the game. That's the point. That's the whole goal here. Cool. That's going to work really well. So now let's take the other instrument to make sure they all fit. And the rhythm needs to be fit as well with the kick drum and the snare drum here. That's the old one. Da 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 da. It's close. Let me mute the bass and kick so we don't get distracted. What's a good rhythm there? Let's find it. That's it. I'm just gonna match that rhythm. I can literally copy it. There's something happening in the bottom. Ah, it's the synth brass. So literally just copy and paste the rhythm. Then I can drag it up to the notes that it's supposed to be. Copy, paste. Up, shift, moves it by an octave. The exact same thing here. We're just going to copy and paste the bass. Cool. Now let's double the little melody moment here. Bum ba da bum ba da bum bum. I like that a lot. I'll add some harmony. Some John Williams harmonies there, like Olympics. All that is a suspension. Doing an F chord and a C chord at the same time. It's quite beautiful. Let's put it in. All right, let's edit that thing. Drag it into place, 16th note quantize. Clean it up. Let's see if that sounds better, an octave lower. Probably not. Yeah, there it is. Cool. Peach D says, sometimes I find it tough orchestration-wise being synthy sounds and more natural instrument sounds. Where do you draw the line? Well, I think you don't have to draw a line. You just need to pick something that fits the game itself. In this situation, I'm using kind of pseudo 32-bit sounds. I say 32-bit versus 16-bit because they're a little bit upgraded from a 16-bit Super Nintendo type sound. So the way to create this soundscape is I actually took real orchestral sounds, but bad samples. So for example, this is not a stab or a jab at Vienna Symphonic Library, VSL, but they kind of have the right sample quality for this type of thing. So a lot of these sounds are just VSL samples, but I bit crush them and I EQ them and compress them to make them smaller, to make them fit within kind of the 16-bit context. That's why I'm kind of calling them 32-bit, because it's real sounds, but they're crushed down. And same thing with pianos and stuff. I kind of squish them down and make contact instruments out of them to remove velocities and things that would otherwise make them more realistic. So it's kind of a pseudo half-half. Reminds me a lot of the philosophy behind Shovel Knight. If you guys have played that game, it visually is in the style of a retro 8-bit pixel art, but it really isn't, because they're not using, what is it, the 250 the 8 colors, whatever you're supposed to do with NES games, they're using like an additional 10 colors or whatever it is to make it feel modern but retro. So that's kind of what this is. It's kind of a blend of the two styles. That's where we're going here. Anywho, yay, Peter's in the chat and he's like, heck yeah. Cool. Let's listen to that so far, what we have. That's very satisfying as soon as it hits that F chord. I'm not sold on this harmony though. I think we got to keep it simple. Maybe for the last chord. I think it's only appropriate for the last one to blast it with the full 4-note chord. Let's get some whirly in there. Maybe a suspension will feel good. Good. Helps fill in the gaps a little bit. Cool. So this is the other section that needs a little bit of something different. That, once again, the devs don't dislike the original. They're just like, I wonder if we could do something a little bit better in that section. So that's what we're doing here today, giving more options, because at the end of the day, they might pick this original first as their favorite, but having little bits and pieces to choose from a la carte, maybe we can create a Frankenstein monster that gets the C section from B and the A section from the third version, whatever, and we can kind of combine them together to create the ultimate version of the Strat. I'm still very sold on, I love this section. Peter, he's in the chat right now, he actually wrote this section. This is how collaboration works, guys. We used to go back and forth. Sometimes we write entire sections, sometimes we just write a few notes. And so just to kind of give a little insight into how this works. So he wrote a 6-measure phrase, and then I inserted 2 bars in the middle of it and then polished it up with the production. So it's just really cool how that works. So I'm having a hard time killing this one, but let's see what happens when I get rid of the melody, at least for the first half, maybe. Let's see what happens if I just get rid of the first half. I have a sneaking suspicion they do not like the D flat chord there, which is a modulation. So I think in this situation we need to play a little bit more safe. So the way I can make a quick change is I mute the things that are changing chords and then just one by one kind of tweak them. So the first item here, I just feel like maybe if there's a way we can let me show that over here. So what we have here is a C major. And I think what's happening is, even though this is technically a major chord, we're going from a major to a major 7. It still has a dark quality to it. I think that's what they're disliking. So okay, I just had a cool idea that I think is going to save this. Let's hop back. Let me get those melodies back. I don't think they're bad. I just think maybe... Okay, let's not undo too many things. Redo. There. I want to keep the melodies. I actually want to do the opposite. I want to mute the changing chords. Let's see if I can change the chord progression to make this feel a bit less exotic. Probably feels too exotic. So here's my bass line. Let's take this and let's... Oh, the piano's stuck in there too. Cool. So Mr. Bass, I think, is going to rule the world here. So currently, the previous version, I had... it's a C2 chord. So all we're doing is the bass is walking up by half steps. It's kind of walking around. So instead, instead of going the modal route, perhaps we can just walk down. So we get the chromaticism in. I need to time this out. So earlier we had C, C sharp, D, E flat, E, da, 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 da. So 8 different chords. So this time we'll go ba, da, da, dum, boom. That's a little different, but that way we don't have to deal with any of the modulations, and that might let them like it more. So let's see what that feels like. Turn my recording on real quick. Come on. So that means I can probably keep this part. What is that, an E flat? Cool. So let's figure this out. So C, B flat, A flat, A flat, E flat. That might just work. Just work. Cool. Hope that's an easy solution that rids us of the mode. And Peach T says, man, nice call. Stripping away that pad almost gives a vibe similar to the title track from Legend of Zelda Spirit Tracks. Ah, that's a cool little reference. of that end. So so maybe the synth brass is too much. Let's try it with and without. Synth brass. So my chords here are now C major, B flat to the A flat. No, it's not. C, B flat, F over A, F minor over A flat. Then C minor, C over E, F, G suspended, which goes back to the F thingy. Let's find that inversion. Jump. That really does sound like Zelda. Let's see, we're coming from this angle. I want to keep the same inversions. So we start with a C, B flat, A flat. This should be interesting. Let's keep it. Just turn down the synth brass in the mix. So here in the choir pad, this might also help just to liven it up a bit by going up an octave. Yeah, it helps a lot. So let's get that inversion in place. So we're doing first inversion on all these guys. Okay, here we go. Also turn on the choir pad quite a bit. So here's the piano in the background. So we got, let's see if we can get this in there. Kill that whole section. nice. I like that chord progression. It's weird, but I kind of like it. Kind of like that better. Cool. I know you probably couldn't hear that very well, so here's the piano just by itself. Let me get this quantized. Sounds like this. I messed this part up. Let's see. It's supposed to be a C minor. There it is. I want to make sure that doesn't ring at the end. Turn my sustain pedal off. Just turn it off completely. The end. Cool. Probably make those quarter notes at the end instead of 16th. Sorry, 8th notes instead of 16th notes. It's twice as long. It doesn't cut off so much. Cool. Here it is. Here it is in context. Cool. Peter, what's your thoughts? I hope you're in the chat still. Love to know what you think, because I just completely destroyed your section, but I think that might be a good solution to get rid of the mode, the half step, the Neapolitan chord. So for anyone that wasn't here like 10 minutes ago, what I'm talking about is I had a C major and it went to a D flat major, more specifically a major 7. So it went from a that. It's a little too modal. I think just going, staying in the key. I think it helps. It gives us like a nice walk down and then a nice walk up. So the only thing left is to change the chords in this. Peter in the chat, he's like, rip. I'm gonna add the little orchestral chords. All right, so here we have first inversion. It gives us mallets, winds, strings, and brass all short, which is just a cool little patch. It does them all at the same time. So for the sake of time, I'm going to move on to the next version, but let's, I'm really crunching time here. So very quickly, let me play the top. I like it. Let's keep it. Okay, let's move on. Let's go to the next section. This is going to be the C version. Let's just do two more little jabs at this. Whoopsie, wrong screen, that one. So way to do this, because I really do want to show you how to make loops as well. Hope we have time for that. And if not, sorry, I'll try next time. But here we go. So this is the C section. Not the C section, the C version of it. I can see why they don't like that. It's a little in your face. Maybe something more motion oriented would be nice. Get these in place. Let's go along with the original. That thing. Maybe that. Guys, this is me like speed composing, but it's still fun. I feel like I'm composing for a news show. Let's just roll with it. We have two other versions that are good, so this is the time to let loose. Experiment. Right? Isn't that what this is for? To try things I wouldn't try otherwise? Because I do have a safe option. Da 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 dum dum dum. Tick da da. Tick da da. That's it. Cool. here. Let's fly through this, guys. Let's do it. Let's do it. Probably got super quiet all of a sudden, but it did. Oh, I changed patches on accident. That's why. Whoopsies. There. Out there, but we'll roll with it, right? Dun. All 16ths. Cool. Let's take that same rhythm, copy that into the synth brass. Let's fly here. Chugga chug chug chug. Let's do it. This time I want to keep the same chord progression and write something different. Let's duke this out real quick. So if we have F major, my thought is isn't that amazing how now the old version stuck in my head? how you know it's a better melody. Oh, something that really grabs your attention. Like that. Start on the 2, so let's do the same instrument. Close. It needs more motion. There we go. So knowing that we're about to go to an F, I want to go higher than an F in my melody. So close. I can live with that. Let's get it in there, clean it up, double it, be on our way. Like last time, I want to take all of these guys. Good use of space. right, guys, cool. So thank you so much for being a part of this. Unfortunately, I am out of time for today. I appreciate you. Let me play out what we have so far for version C. I'll be back to try working on these again in the future because I didn't give you quite the opportunity to listen to the rest of that. But thanks so much for your help. I think it's going to be really cool. So far, I think I like B, my favorites. Let me know in the comments below which of these versions you like the best, and maybe I'll move forward on that. But cool, let me play out what we have so far, and I'll chat with you later. See ya.